I thought maybe we would be able to slow roll our way into this show, our first show ever. No way. We're called Unfiltered for a reason. Ricky, we got to get into this damn Philadelphia Phillies baseball team because the month of May was beautiful. They end the month of May 11-1. Things were looking really good. Now, our concern was they were doing it against teams that stunk. And what was going to happen when the Phillies had to play some better teams? Well, now they're 1-9 in their last 10. They've lost 5 in a row, and they just did it against one of the worst teams in baseball, the Pittsburgh Pirates. They now sit 4.5 games back of the New York Mets. They're still 37-28, but they are trending in the wrong direction. Ricky, you watch this team every single day. You do the post-game show, the pre-game show. What the hell is going on with our Fighting Phils?
You know what? I would love to say it was just one thing. This isn't one thing. And here's my biggest problem, is that certain things are out there, and they were microscopic at one point, and guess what? They've blown up. They're huge now. You think about center field. You think about the left field position. You think about the bullpen. And the lineup has and by the way, in the last weekend series against the Pirates, that lineup has been awful. And I think I'm being nice when I say they're being awful. I think this team has kind of fallen a little bit apart since Bryce Harper has been out of it. I know. Here's my bigger issue that goes all along with this is that these guys are paid a lot of money. So this doesn't happen. So if you lose somebody, you're just supposed to be able to pick up the slack. I feel like it's like, you know what? These guys lost the wheel on a car, and they don't know what to do about it, so they keep driving on it. And you know what happens? The car becomes unbalanced and then crashes. That's where I feel like we are right now. This team has got to be better. You just played the Pittsburgh Pirates. I can understand day 3 against Paul Skeens. I get it. He's good. As a matter of fact, maybe even bordering on great. But to lose the first 2 games of that series is there's no answer for that. That can't be done. You have to be able you got to be able to play baseball every single day. This team is dragging ass right now. And I think it's pathetic. They're much better than that. And I don't know exactly where it stems from, but there's more than one problem. I could continue to go, which we will continue to go on the problems. But to start off things, the lineup has done nothing over the weekend. Absolutely nothing. And I always talk about the 5 through 9 hitters because if Trey Turner's hot or if Schwarber's hot, you have to flip the lineup constantly. Are we seeing a flip in the lineup? No. As a matter of fact, on Saturday, how about this? Saturday, the 5 through 9 hitters, 1 through 15, 1 for 15. Think about that for a second. Think about how bad that is and how much they're not flipping the lineup right now. So you could start there with the lineup, and there's many other issues that we're going to get into.
You're right, and we should start with the lineup because we all knew there was going to be some issues in the bullpen. We've been talking about that for weeks, especially since Alvarado got suspended. But we knew there were going to be issues with the bullpen. What we didn't realize, some people did, but how bad that this lineup could actually look. And it's bringing back PTSD because you go back to what happened last year in the NLDS. You go back to what happened the year before to end the NLCS. You go back to the World Series back in 2022. This lineup's either all hot together or they're all ice cold together. And I get there's no Bryce Harper, but I don't want to hear that as an excuse.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I don't
it's
want
about
to hear
time.
Look, and the problem is that's giving this team an out by saying, oh, well, there's no Bryce Harper. This team doesn't deserve an out right now. When you look at, you mentioned the 5 through 9 hitters. In this 1-9 stretch, as a team, they're hitting below 200.
Yes, that's horrible.
Below 200. But as a team, and they had 80 strikeouts in the last 10 games. That shouldn't even be possible. So obviously we're frustrated. We are all frustrated. I think the entire city of Philadelphia.
I'm almost past it right now. Like I'm not over it. I'm past frustration. I'm heading towards angry.
A lot of people, I think, are feeling the way you are feeling. And look, I still believe that this can be a good baseball team. But we talk about, do you hit the panic button? Do you not hit the panic button? My concerns, though, are that they are just a good baseball team. That they're going to make the playoffs, but we're not going to see them take that long run into the World Series, which is what everyone was hoping for. And I'm putting all my blame on one person if this team falls short. I have not been a huge Rob Thompson fan, but I am not blaming Rob Thompson. I'm not even blaming the players, Ricky, because I think some of these players are just playing to what they are. This is who they are. I am putting the blame on Dave Dumbrowski, the president of baseball.
And that's
operations.
all right, because let's face it, he's gotten a lot of pats on the back for what he's brought together, for the guys that he's brought in. Well, the guys that he's brought in have not won them a World Series championship, and I think that's what the fan base should be waiting for this.
But when you say he gets a lot of pats on the back for what he's done,
yeah.
I want to take a look at what exactly Dave Dumbrowski has done, because when he came here, and I said this last year, and I was killed by a lot of people for saying this, the team's so good, how can you go on Dave Dumbrowski? When he came here, he had a Hall of Fame resume. He already has a Hall of Fame resume, right? He brought 4 different teams to a World Series. He's been to the World Series 5 times. He's won it twice with 2 different organizations. Hall of Fame resume. But when he came here to Philadelphia, a lot of the big pieces were already here. Wheeler was here. Nola was here. Suarez was here. Sanchez was here. Hell, even Mick Abel was already in this organization. Then you look at the lineup. Realmuto was here. Harper was here. Bohm, Stott, even Johan Rojas. What Dave Dumbrowski what he has done is he was given a blank check by the owner and said, go out there and sign people. He gave Trey Turner $300 million. Yeah. Right? Look, I'll give him the Schwarber deal.
I'm going to argue with this. Schwarber was a great deal. You brought in Castellanos. Everybody was happy with that when it happened.
Yeah, but I get that argument, right? We were happy when it happened. When they signed Trey Turner, we were all happy. But we're not the president of baseball operations.
Right.
It's up to Dave Dumbrowski to have the foresight to be able to say to himself, is this the best move for this baseball team? Giving a guy $300 million for 11 years, he hasn't lived up to that. Even though he's been your best hitter, he hasn't lived up to it. I like the Schwarber deal.
Does anybody really live up to their contracts anymore? Schwarber has, yes. But has anybody else on this team? I know Harper has, because of the sole fact of, you know what, he really kind of gels with the younger fan base and the whole Fanatic thing, and he's brought everybody in that way. But when you talk about Bryce Harper, what is the first thing that came to your mind when the Phillies signed Bryce Harper? First thing that came to your mind?
World Series.
World Series champs.
Absolutely.
They haven't gotten there yet.
Look, we got a lot to get into.
When does he get his props? When do people start looking at him like maybe this is never going to happen?
What's up, everybody? It's Bill Colarulo from Unfiltered with Ricky Bo and Bill Colarulo. Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel because we post a ton of content. It's not just what you hear on air. We're posting content all day long. We do some things before the show, after the show, even stuff during the show. So subscribe, like, do whatever you got to do. We got all this content coming to you every single day.